Dr. Pepper and Friends, where grit, grace, and wholehearted living come together. And now, here's Dr. Pepper.
Hey, and welcome to Dr. Pepper and Friends. I'm so glad that you joined us. And if you've been tracking with this series, the thing that you've probably noticed is we've been talking about affairs and affair recovery and adultery, and so grateful that you've been able to be a part of this. And if you have had the need yourself, then I hope it's been helpful. If you know somebody that might benefit from this, please feel free to copy the link and share it with them. And hopefully that will give them some hope and some encouragement and a little bit of information along the way. So in the first episode in this series, we talked about the dynamics of destruction and just the kind of thing that affairs do, and the kind of devastation that it leaves behind. In the next one, we talked about the path to healing. And if that's something that you're interested in, that came from Rediscover Us, which is an 8-week intensive that I do, and it's where couples come in and they have all the videos of training that I'm doing teaching in between, and then they have a meeting with me each week for 8 weeks in a row, and it's just a really good way to really deal with some hard issues fast. And it's not all about affairs or affair recovery. It's about really pulling the engine and rebuilding it, the engine of your marriage. So if you know anybody that'd be interested in that, I'm glad to help with that. Please email me, pepper@theprattclinic.com or info@theprattclinic.com, and that would be great. So that was kind of the first two episodes. And then last week, we had Will Chenault on, and he talked with us about the work that the betrayer needs to do, and it's work that needs to happen from the kind of the relationship itself, the partner and the one that did the betraying, but also the internal work that has to happen for the betraying partner. There's work that he or she needs to do in the middle of all that. That's just good soul work that needs to happen. So I hope you caught that one. Today, you're in for a special treat. Scarlett Henley is going to be with us. And Scarlett has been with us for several years now. She started off as a graduate intern and has been a therapist with us now for a few years. And she's developed some really good expertise in partner betrayal recovery. So she is our clinic expert on working with a betrayed partner. And today we're going to talk about all the things that partner can expect, because there's an element of trauma that goes along with that. There's some things that are important for that partner to know that it's coming and to know that it's normal when you feel these kinds of things. There's grief work to be done in that. So we're really grateful for Scarlett joining us. So hopefully you'll tune into this and listen to all of what she and I have to say in this, and I will see you on the other side of that. But also, if you've not yet, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That just kind of helps us to know who's out there and who's listening, and we see the number of views that come in, and we're very encouraged by all the folks that are participating. So thank you so much for being a part of this, and we're going to jump into the conversation now with Scarlett Henley. And if you need to or would like to schedule with her, you can come to the prattclinic.com website and just click schedule and request appointment, and do that with Scarlett Henley, and she'll be glad to help you out. So let's jump in now. Hey, welcome into Dr. Pepper and Friends, and I am joined by an old friend. Not that you're old, of course, but that we've been working together for a few years now. Mm-hmm. This is Scarlett Henley, and she is here at the Pratt Clinic with us, and she makes her residence in Selmer, Tennessee.
I do.
Right? And
I do.
Drives all the way here. So that is, we've been so blessed to have her since she was a graduate intern, and she's been a therapist with us now. And one of the things that she has gained some expertise in, and we're so glad that she's sharing that with us here today, is something we don't always talk about. I mean, we just done a couple of shows on affairs and affair recovery, and we've done another one on kind of the work that the person that betrayed needs to do. But today we're going to talk about something a little different, because it's often overlooked, I think, in the affair recovery process, and that has to do with the betrayed partner. And so just for the sake of language, if we're talking about the betrayer, we're talking about the one that did the betraying, okay, whether that was sexual infidelity, or it was financial betrayal, or whatever that may be. And then when we talk about the betrayed, we're talking about the partner that's left to pick up the pieces often, and has a role to play in all of that. So welcome, Scarlett.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you. I want to say hello to everyone. Talking about partner betrayal is it's really important, and it's often painful. Partner recovery after betrayal is what I do. Whether betrayal has shown up through infidelity, secrecy, or broken trust, the impact is profound, but there is hope and a path forward. Betrayal isn't just a heartbreak, it's a trauma, and it can shake your sense of safety and reality.
Yeah, and a lot of times people just think, well, man, that was tough to go through. But there is actually, I mean, it's the kind of trauma symptoms that you experience with any other trauma is often taking place in partner betrayal. So,
Right.
talk a little bit about what that is, and why is recovery for that betrayed partner so important?
Well, betrayal is a deep break in trust, whether it's through the infidelity, which may include affairs, whether they're emotional, physical, or sexual, hidden behaviors, or dishonesty, including addictions. And addictions can include pornography, sex, gambling, alcohol, drugs, shopping, and many other addictions, many other secrets that are kept from the spouse. With all of that, it doesn't just hurt emotionally, it disrupts your whole reality. It can consume you, it can affect your everyday life. And recovery is about healing their identity. You know, they don't know who they are anymore. And I've heard that from clients, or what's going to happen to them next, what's going to happen in the future. It's not just about moving on, and getting over it, as some may say and some are told. Recovery isn't about getting over it. It's about reclaiming your identity and your self-worth.
Yeah, a lot of times I think, what happens with that betrayed partner is they question everything. Is my whole life a lie? Is everything that we've experienced as a couple, is that all been a farce? And then the other thing, kind of like you were saying, is that they want to see often that betraying partner have some consequences. They want to see them experience the kind of pain that they've experienced. And sometimes that comes out through some of those passive things, like passive aggressive things, like either revenge sex, or in some cases alcohol and drugs, and just kind of checking out, or spending money, or any of those things, right? So so sometimes it helps, I think, to if you're going on a journey, to kind of have a roadmap and know a little bit about, what to expect along the way. And it kind of helps when okay, there's a curve at the the end of this road, and then you got to go up a hill, and there's a big tree and a lake. I mean, so what are some things that partners sometimes go through? What can they expect? What are some things on the roadmap that shouldn't be a surprise to them?
Well, from the experience I've had and with the clients is, they go through shock, grief, anger, anxiety, depression. There's even physical symptoms that they can go through, like loss of sleep. They have panic. Loss of appetite is a big one. And of course, loss of appetite can also contribute to other physical symptoms, just from not eating and from not sleeping. They're normal responses. So, and the clients actually tell me, I feel crazy. And you're not crazy. Your body and your heart are reacting to a trauma that is a very painful trauma.
Yeah. I mean, it's a combination of like trauma symptoms and grief symptoms.
It is.
It's kind of putting all those together. And if you've ever studied grief, the thing that, you may have come across is those stages to grief and that kind of thing. And those things like, denial and anger and sadness and acceptance and that kind of thing, they're not stair-stepped as in, like a graduated process, as much as they're like this pendulum that swings back and forth.
It does.
So the thing on the roadmap is to not be surprised when you may have, a lot of anger one day, and maybe even the same day, swing all the way over to sadness. And then the bargaining stage is kind of all those if onlys, if only I'd been this, if only I'd done this more, if I'd been better at this or that.
Right.
And those are just kind of things that sometimes the pendulum just swings back and forth. And eventually you swing until you get to the place of acceptance, but that's a longer road.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a very longer road.
So what does recovery look like? I mean, if somebody's in the thick of this right now, what does this look like for somebody?
Well, recovery differs for everyone.
Start over. What does recovery actually look like?
Well, recovery is different for everyone, depending on their situation and the cause of betrayal. There are 3 stages that I like to kind of go by. One is stabilization. This is your safety and your support. It's very important to feel safe and have a trustworthy support, whether it be a family member or a friend. Then you've got your processing. This is processing of your grief and your emotions. Grief over the loss of a relationship and the loss of trust in your partner or significant other. And it's learning to process those many emotions that can flood you at any point in time. Like you said, you can go through any of those emotions of grief, not necessarily in order, but they can jump from one to the other from day to day. Mm-hmm. And so it's learning how to process those. Then you want to rebuild. Rebuilding is your identity, your boundaries, and a new vision for you. Your healing isn't linear, but betrayal can cause someone to not know who they are anymore. This step is vital for setting boundaries and have a new vision for their future. Healing doesn't have a deadline. It happens in stages and at your own pace. Even if your relationship doesn't survive, you can still recover and thrive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of times I think the betraying partner often puts pressure on the betrayed of, are you not over this by now?
They do.
Right? So it's not linear. There's not like this point in time where I get over this.
Right.
I mean, it leaves a mark that is something that is you remember throughout the entire relationship, but it doesn't have to define you. And I think that's kind of where when recovery begins to take hold, I feel less defined by that, and it's more of a point of reference in the background instead of consuming all of my rearview mirror.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's really good. And I want to say a little bit more just about kind of the support system part of that. Because one of the things that I've seen with so many couples is that it just becomes 100% of the conversation, right? When they're together. And if that's 100% of the conversation, they don't have the ability to build connection with other things, right? So sometimes having a safe person that you both agree on can be somebody that I confide in and somebody that I talk to, a safe support person, is really important because, I may have a trigger that comes up today, and rather than talking to my partner about that, I really may need to be able to have somebody else I can bounce that off of and just vent to and just kind of get all of that stuff out so that I'm not just dumping everything on my partner, and we can just talk about the pork chops that we have for dinner instead of, that being 100% of the conversation when we have a meal together, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that kind of brings up another idea, is just the idea of boundaries. So talk a little bit about boundaries and why they're so important in recovery, because a lot of times that just feels completely bulldozed down.
It does. And when I mention boundaries in session, they're like, I could set a boundary. And I'm like, well, yeah, because boundaries restore control. They're not about punishment. They're about safety. For example, you could tell your spouse, I need space tonight. Or I need honesty with the phone use, or any other thing that the wife or the husband may need to help build that trust. Where were you being? Where are you going? What are you doing? I know that's difficult for some to give, but, and then your boundaries aren't punishment like the other spouse thinks they are. They're protection. And that makes healing possible. Lisa Tarkhurst does a book study called Good Boundaries and Goodbyes. Boundaries aren't just a a good idea, they're a God idea. And this is what Lisa discovered. And they're about learning to still love others without losing the best of who you are. And I do integrate this book study in the therapy process, and it works great.
Yeah. I mean, and it's really kind of new boundaries for the betraying partner, but also boundaries for the betrayed.
Exactly.
Because there may be some things like, I don't want to have physical intimacy right now.
Exactly.
And that's not a punishment to the betraying partner as much as that's establishing safety for the betrayed partner, and because they just may not be ready for that.
They're not.
Yeah. And then there needs to be new boundaries sometimes in place for the one that
Right.
did the betraying too, because that communicates some level of trust when there's open access to electronic devices and all those kinds of things.
It is.
Do you get that, by the way, very often? You know, somebody getting protective over their phone, for
Yes.
example, after an affair. What do you think of that?
Yes. I think that social media and phones are very difficult in marriages, can cause difficulty in marriages.
Well, let me just put this out there, okay? So this is my humble but correct opinion, okay?
Yeah.
For all couples, all the time, everywhere, I think 100% open access to passwords, electronic devices is just a no-brainer. That needs
absolutely.
to happen. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that needs to happen, and especially in light, if you want to rebuild trust in your marriage, especially
Absolutely.
after a betrayal.
Absolutely.
So if somebody's just come up on a betrayal, and sometimes I've had couples that have come in and, you know, they've known about it for months and they've had a little time to process, and then I've had some that found out about it the week before, okay? But if somebody's just discovering betrayal, what kind of encouragement would you give to them? What would you say to them?
You're not alone. What you're feeling is trauma. It's not a weakness. Healing is possible, and you don't have to do it alone. One of the bravest steps in recovery is reaching out for safe, trustworthy support. Betrayal breaks trust with your partner, but recovery rebuilds trust in yourself.
That's good.
Through the training that I did for the partner recovery and the partner betrayal trauma, through Dr. Weiss, who developed the partner recovery and betrayal training system, a statement that he made, and of course I've tweaked mine just a little bit, is for you to tell yourself, I am not responsible for his or her thoughts, decisions, choices, or actions, but I am responsible for my healing. And that statement seems to work great for the one who's being betrayed when they learn that it's not their fault.
Yeah.
By what their spouse or significant other has done. You know, hope after betrayal isn't naive. It's necessary. Healing is absolutely possible. Your healing isn't selfish. It's essential.
Yeah. Yeah, and y'all, there is a science to this, right? So this is not just Pepper or Scarlett kind of making this up. I mean, there's relationship science, and there's some tried and true methods of being able to heal, and that work is for the partner, and that partner is often going to feel like, well, why should I have to do work? I mean, they're the one that kind of messed up, and that's true. And whereas it may not be your fault, it is your problem, and it is something that is going to impact you, and you can either fly blind to it, or you can engage in the work that's necessary to experience healing for yourself, and hopefully reconciliation of the relationship, and that's not always the case.
No.
But even if the relationship doesn't reconcile, there's still work for that betrayed partner to do.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
So Scarlett, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you guys for tuning in. And if you want some time with Scarlett, you can go to our website at the Pratt Clinic and at theprattclinic.com and click Request Appointment, and you'll see Scarlett's name come up there, and she will be glad to take good care of you. And thank you so much again for tuning into Dr. Pepper and Friends. Hey, thank you so much, Scarlett, for that really rich conversation. So grateful that Scarlett's a part of our team. So if you need to reach out to Scarlett, again, click Request Appointment at theprattclinic.com, and she will be glad to see you. and I'm certainly here to help. And Will Chenault also works with couples. Callan Lewis also works with couples. So that's one of the things that I'm really grateful that we have a team of folks that have been well trained to be able to help with couples therapy, including affairs, and even couples that are struggling that maybe that's not happened, right? So let me give you a little heads up about what's coming, because we are coming into the holidays, and with the holidays, we began to look around and we noticed that sometimes things are different than they were this time last year. And sometimes that's because there have been loved ones that have passed away. Sometimes you're dealing with a divorce, or there's been an affair that's happened in this last year. And just navigating through that is a process of grief. So we're going to take on really the episodes between now and the end of the year just to talk about grief. So Will Chenault's going to return as a co-host, and we're going to talk about where's God when it hurts, and just some of the things that come up with grief. And spirituality. And then Debbie Bellinghausen is going to also join us, and she's we're going to take on the subject of you're not crazy, you're just grieving. All right, so that's going to be an important conversation about regulating. And then Jenny Haywood is going to be with us, and we're going to talk about how kids grieve differently, children grieve differently around these times of year. And we're going to have some really practical pro tips for helping children navigate the holidays through grief. And then Eugene Brandt, who's the pastor at Fellowship Bible Church, is going to talk with us about what happens to someone when they die. And that's a conversation that you're not going to want to miss. So if you have any ideas, if any suggestions that you would like to see us address in the future, feel free to email me, pepper@theprattclinic.com or info@theprattclinic.com, and we'll be glad to take that into consideration. We've got a plan. We've got some more that are coming up next year, but we're also very open to you as the viewer, the listener, the things that you may want to hear. Just a reminder, as you go to the YouTube channel, especially when you look at the Dr. Pepper and Friends shows that are green, those are all the Pratt Clinic. Those are all counseling related kinds of shows. When you look at the red ones, those are all shows that are teaching episodes. So the teaching episodes are usually Bible teaching. It's a sermon series that I've done. I'm in the middle of a Bible study at Fellowship Bible Church on Genesis, and that has been something that we've tracked, and most of those are audio only. But again, these shows are available not just on YouTube, but also on Apple and Spotify podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. I think even on Amazon Music, they're on there. So share these with others. This is why we do this. And thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dr. Pepper and Friends.